actually hit a garage sale this morning, but they had a 360 there. It was missing the whatever component AV cable, and it was like the original model 360, so it had the detachable hard drive. I was considering it, but I was like, I can't remember because I boxed everything up. If I have a 360 AV cable laying around, I don't trust those early model 360s though. To not shit the bed. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna lay off getting that. Went to East End Gaming. Picked up 3 games. I was in there for a while actually. Just there was a bunch of games I was looking at, and like a few didn't have the manual, so I was like, eh. I was bouncing back and forth. I spent 28, 21 on these 3 games. First one here is for the NES, and it is Alpha Mission by SNK. I used to have this when I was a kid. This was $10. I enjoy the shit ass, and every time I'm in that game store, I always look at this game. I almost grabbed Jackal as well for the NES. I should have. And Breakthrough I was looking at as well. This is a cool shooter to shoot 'em up. It's pretty fun though. I've not played it in years, but this is a game I owned when I was a kid. And I finally just said, fuck it, I'm buying it. It's in pretty good shape. The label's a little coming off very slightly here on the one side. It's got a couple little marks floating around it, but it's in pretty good shape. I still do have the Retron 3 sitting around so I can test this. Alpha Mission for the NES. I looked at Deja Vu on the NES. I was looking actually at a lot of NES games. Like I said, one more time before leaving, I want to go in to one of these game stores, like $100, and just buy more games. But we'll see if I actually do that. Next to original Xbox games, I was looking at a couple of these. Siberia again, I think is a little too much. I was looking at Spartan Total Warrior, but they didn't have the manuals. This is the 3rd game I finally grabbed, though. Rally Sport Challenge. I played some of this back in the day. I don't know if I actually owned it or I had rented it. It's a Rally Sport racing game. It's kind of cool. You have, like I say, when they do these races, they have the 2 people in the car, and the navigator, like the person in passenger seat, is like important. They got like the route and where to go, telling you where to go and stuff. Usually racing on tough terrain. It's in the snow or the dirt and stuff like that. I was looking at 2 as well, but these were exclusive. I think this turned into, no, maybe it did not. No, it didn't. But I remember enjoying it for a racing game too. It was just kind of different and stuff. It's kind of tough, from what I remember. Yeah. Rally races are a flight for pole position in the wheel-to-wheel rally cross and ice racing championships. This one was $8. I was looking at Splinter Cells. They didn't have Chaos Theory there. I was kind of curious to see how much it was. I looked at Splinter Cell Double Agent on 360, but It was $13. I can find it cheaper on eBay, and the artwork on both of the copies I had there was just really rough. I remember enjoying this. Maybe I did own it at some point. I got it when it was cheaper. Because I do remember playing some of it, but I don't remember if I had rented it or I just decided to buy it because it was cheap. Unless I came across it like well after the 360 was out and the original Xbox was done. I might have grabbed it. You know where I actually might have picked it up? I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was part of that lot. I'd have to look at my old YouTube channel and see when I was buying the cheap games at FYE when they were selling games for, oh man, they were dirt cheap. I remember getting like, this was 2009 and they still had original Xbox games in there, but they were clearing out that stuff, and I remember getting copies of Halo 3 for like, at the time it was like $8, $10. I was getting good Game Boy Advance stuff for cheap. I wish I was getting that stuff now. I think there was a Pokemon game or two on the DS that I picked up there for like $10. I have those. No, that was from, I didn't put the FYE ones up. That was, or maybe I did do one on a throwback. But that was Game Crazy. I did that throwback video of with the pickups. I was going nuts there, like Tony Hawk, NFL coach, like iNinja. Maybe I did do that as a throwback as well. But this might have come from one of those times that I got stuff there. They were selling those Xbox games for like $2, $3, $4 a piece. It was nuts. But anyway, Rally Sport Challenge on the original Xbox. And the second original Xbox game I got, I originally had this briefly on the PS2. I bought it from, I want to say I got it from Blockbuster. You know, it was like $10 or something used. Maybe like even $5. This was I think this is actually the last game I picked up at Blockbuster before that one in Massapequa closed. This was 06. This was early 06. It was like a month or two before I got the 360. And I was picking up PS2 games. That's what I was primarily playing between the beginning, the way end of 05. Or maybe it was just 06 I started picking up the PS2 games. And I was playing them, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just getting the 360. But the game was Project Snowblind. This is obviously the Xbox version. This was also $8. I'm pretty sure this game is supposed to be in the Deus Ex universe. It's made by the same people, or was, Eidos and Crystal Dynamics. I'm pretty sure it's not like maybe it is like a spin-off, but I'm pretty sure it takes place in the Deus Ex universe. But it's a first-person shooter, and you get pretty cool weapons and stuff like that. I did play some of it. I did not beat it back then. Unabashed balls to the wall action. The outcome of experimental battlefield surgery is something more than human. A unique weapons-grade warrior, Nathan Frost, now has abilities that far surpass human physical limits. Sent deep beyond the front lines, Frost and a handful of men are the best chance against the world's next terrorist sovereign. In the last attempt to restore peace, war shall rage. I do remember enjoying what I played of it. It was cool. It looked nice. There is a little damage to that. You can't really tell to the plastic on the case. It does have, these both have their manuals. This and Rally Sport. So like I said, for $8 I like, that's a good price. When it comes to the Xbox games and the PS2 games, in the East End Gaming, like 8's gonna be the cheapest you're gonna see. You'll see $5 like Game Boy Color games and stuff, but it's usually and some, like I was gonna get Stanley Cup hockey, NHL Stanley Cup for the Super Nintendo, but it was $8 in there, and I know for a fact it's like $3 in the video game trading post in the mall. So I was like, if I want to grab that, I'll just get it there. I looked in the GameCube section briefly, and my God, their stuff was definitely higher priced than like eBay. Like I was looking at Wave Race, Blue Storm, is it called? Blue Storm. It was like $25. I'm pretty sure that's like a $15 game on eBay, but I could be wrong. But there's 2 Star Wars, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader, and Rebel Strike. Rogue Squadron, Rebel Strike. They were like $30 or $25, $30, which I know they're not that far off. I guess I think they're like 20 and 25, but it's possible these prices have changed. But the GameCube is just it's one of the tougher consoles to collect for, just because the third party, because like the PS2 has extremely high-priced games, but they have tons of cheap and kind of moderately priced good games like a Rygar, God of War, the Metal Gear games that are on there, Metal Gear Solid games, stuff like that, Devil May Cry. You can find a good amount of stuff for like $15 and under on the PS2, and the Xbox as well. The Xbox is a good system if you're like just into collecting. The Xbox is a good system to go for because there's a ton of good games and good exclusives, but it's also a fairly cheaper system to collect for at the moment, of course. But that and the NES are good starting points if that's your thing, collecting. But the GameCube is just rough. Like the third-party stuff is like $10 more than on the Xbox or the PS2, and then the exclusives are all pricier, And I'm talking like all the exclusives are like $25 at least. Like even a 1080 Avalanche might be $20. And then you're going to $40, which they're not. I'm not saying they're overly expensive, but if you're gonna be throwing money around if you want to actually seriously collect for it. But anyway, Project Snowblind here for the Xbox Rally Sport Challenge. For the original Xbox, and Alpha Mission for the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. But yeah, thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.